Welcome back. This is video number 3, and we are going to map out your membership site funnel. And I will actually show you how we map out membership sites so that you have a better idea on how to use flowchart tools to map yours out as well. Now, before we do that, let's talk about some basics here. So now that you have a breakdown of what your customers will see on the inside, it's time to get a bigger bird's eye view of your whole site in detail. So before we actually go into the technical setup in video 4 through 8, what we need to do is you need to actually get a brainstorm, get a plan in your head of what everything looks like, and this will actually help you implement everything at a faster rate and at actually a more successful rate as well. So the question to you should be, how many levels will you have? 1, 2, 3 to pay levels. Maybe you have a basic level, a silver level, a gold level, or maybe you have 3 different levels. You need to figure that out. Are these levels going to segment people into different scenarios? Maybe one level is access to a video course. Another level is access to a video course and software, or maybe another level is at a higher level is essentially the video course, software, and maybe coaching. So that's something that you need to figure out. And aside from what you did in video number 2, this allows you to kind of see what kind of front-end offers, upsells, one-time offers you have, and how you can segment people into those different levels or different pages. And if you're able to map things out now, it's actually going to make life a lot easier when you begin to implement everything. Now, since you've done the task in video number 2, or at least now you have an idea about breaking things up and how your customers will get the content or see the content, the question now is, how are you going to deliver the content? And this is what we call drip feeding. So the way you can set it up is you can set up a membership site. Let's say you have a monthly membership site. You can set it up so they get module 1, maybe for the first month, module 2, the second month, via what we call drip feeding. Now, you don't have to do it that way. You can have module 1 on one day, module 2 next week, module 3 the next week. Or you can do something like module 1 the first 2 days, module 2 the second 2 days, and so forth. So really what it comes down to is you can actually specify how you want it to be drip fed. Or will everybody get everything all at once? So that's something that you really need to figure out right now before you actually begin the setup process. And this is a crucial thing to think about, especially if you're trying to set up a monthly recurring membership site where you earn profit every single month. And the reason being is because if you want to do drip feeding, you need to know that ahead of time. And fortunately, the software that we will be using does offer some of these functionalities. And it allows you to kind of become a bridge to connect to PayPal, to connect to Stripe, which is a credit card processing system, and Authorize.net, and other payment processors. So really that's what you need to find in a script is, does it allow you to do what you are trying to do, right? So you may want to use whatever mind mapping program that you want to use, but we are going to use Lucidchart because Lucidchart is a really awesome mind mapping flowchart system, which allows you to kind of break things down, map out what you're trying to set up. And once you have decided on, okay, this is good, we like it, we like how it looks like, we like the flow of the funnel, then you can move on to the next video and begin the setup process and utilizing the script, installing WordPress, and more. But before you do that, make sure that you do everything that you can to plan things out. Now I'm going to switch over to Lucidchart, which is a flowchart system, and we are going to map out a basic monthly membership site. And of course, you can add on to that if you so choose to do so later on. Okay, so as I stated earlier, this process is crucial as part of trying to figure out what your WordPress membership site is going to look like. So I would recommend doing this for this thing. You don't really need to have Lucidchart. You can use other mind mapping softwares if you want to, or you can use a pen and paper and just map it out. I just like to use Lucidchart simply because that it allows me to drag and drop. I just like things digital. So it's really up to you. It doesn't really mean that you have to use this. So we start out with the membership site. You need to figure out, do you have free levels? Do you have paid levels? Maybe in order to get to the paid level, so we'll say this is the paid level, and we can say that this is $37 per month. And maybe there is a free level that people can join, and maybe it only gives access to certain things, maybe access to module 1. And then the pay level gives access to module 2 through 10. And then that's per month. And then of course you can add other things to it as well. Now, notice how I start here. So we start general and then we break it down. So we could say, okay, let's put this down here. And we could say up here we have module 1. Module 2 and module 3. Now, for the sake of just simplicity, let's say max we have 3 modules. So let's see here. What we need to do is we need to figure out, how are we going to give the modules? Are we going to give it all at one time, every week, every day, or every month? So that's something you got to figure out. Now, obviously, if you have a recurring membership site that just continues on and on and on and on forever, you will probably need to add more modules if it is like a video course. If it's a piece of software, then of course that would make sense to charge a monthly fee if you bringing out updates and things like that. But for video courses and digital products like ebooks, you can't really charge recurring unless there's some sort of like maybe coaching involved or some sort of recurring item involved. So that's just something to think about. Like, will the modules maybe be weekly webinars? Will they be updates to your software, or monthly coaching or weekly coaching? What is it going to look like so it is actually worth for people to pay a monthly fee? So we can see, and we got to figure out, okay, how are these being delivered? So let's say that each module will be delivered every week. So we'll do weekly, and you may not be able to see it, but I'll increase the font here. But the nice thing about Lucidchart is you can connect these two, you can double click the line, and you can actually specify what the line is going to be. So this case, we'll just make this weekly as well, like so. And there we go. So now you see that if you specify weekly, when you look for a WordPress plugin, you need to find something that will drip feed. And so that's the key word, is drip feeding. That means that you can specify the system to say, hey, once module 1 is released, and if they're on the free level, that's fine. They can get it forever. But if they're on the paid level, then they get module 1, they get module 2, and module 3. If they're free level, they only have module 1. So this is why mapping out is so crucial, because when it gets to the technical setup, you're not going to know what to do, especially if you got a massive site funnel or it just gets really complex. So that's kind of the basics of a membership site here. But what we need to do is figure out, okay, what is this going to look like? Are these going to be videos? So further, you can break it down further up here. And we can say, each module has, like module 1 has a welcome video. So welcome video, make it bigger. And what does it have? Module 2 has maybe monthly live webinar. So just go through it and break it down like we did in video number 2. We broke it down so that you can kind of see what the user sees. Now, by doing so, this will allow you to figure out, okay, module 1 has got a welcome video. What do I need to use to upload the video? Am I going to use YouTube? I'm going to use Vimeo. Jot that down, write everything down so that you know all the technology that is involved to get you up and running. All right. So this is kind of basic, but there's a lot of other things that you can do, and I will show you that and show you what's available out there as far as WordPress plugins goes and what they can do. And then of course, by knowing that, you can compare the different plugins that are available and see if they actually match up to what you're trying to do. All right. So with that said, let's move on to the next video and we'll talk about different WordPress plugins.